Margaret never imagined that life after 60 would feel so quiet. The once bustling home filled with laughter and love had gradually faded into silence, leaving her with only the ticking clock and an empty chair by the window. Sound familiar? If you've ever felt the weight of loneliness creeping in, you're not alone. But here's the good news. Loneliness isn't a life sentence. In this guide, we'll uncover 15 powerful habits that can transform isolation into connection and purpose. Ready to take the first step? Let's begin with acknowledging your feelings. 1. Start the day with small wins. Clara used to wake up to a daunting sight, a cluttered nightstand with books she'd finished weeks ago, an empty water glass, and an ever-present pile of tissues. It made her mornings feel heavy before the day even began. Then one morning, inspired by a magazine article about starting the day with intention, Clara decided to make her bed. At first, it seemed like such a small, insignificant task. But as she smoothed the covers and fluffed the pillows, she noticed something. Her room instantly looked more put together, and she felt a sense of accomplishment before she'd even had her coffee. This simple act became her new ritual. Each morning, after making her bed, Clara spent a few minutes tidying her nightstand, returning books to the shelf, throwing away tissues, and placing a fresh glass of water for the night ahead. This habit became Clara's foundation for the day. Research supports her experience. Studies show that completing a small task in the morning can boost motivation and productivity. It's funny, Clara laughs. Making my bed doesn't seem like much, but it sets the tone for everything else. Try it yourself. Begin your day by making your bed and tidying your immediate surroundings. You'll be amazed at how much lighter and more prepared you'll feel to take on the day. 2. Tidy as you go. For years, Clara's kitchen counter seemed to have a magnetic pull for clutter. Plates from lunch, unopened mail, and random items like keys and pens would pile up, waiting to be dealt with later. But later always turned into tomorrow, and the mess became overwhelming. One day, Clara visited her friend Eleanor, who had an uncanny ability to keep her home spotless. Clara finally asked, "What's your secret?" Eleanor smiled and said, "I tidy as I go." Clara decided to give it a try. After breakfast, instead of leaving her coffee mug in the sink, she rinsed it and put it in the dishwasher. When she sorted through her mail, she immediately tossed the junk and placed important letters in a designated spot. By tackling small messes as they happened, she found that clutter never had the chance to build up. The change was immediate and profound. Clara no longer felt like she was drowning in chores at the end of the day. "It's so simple," she shares, "but it makes such a difference." If you find yourself overwhelmed by clutter, try Clara's method. As you move through your day, take an extra 30 seconds to put things away or clean up small messes. It's a little habit with a big payoff. 3. Designate Daily Focus Zones. Clara's biggest frustration used to be her endless to-do list. She'd attempt to clean her entire house in one day, only to burn out halfway through and leave things unfinished. It wasn't until her daughter suggested dividing the house into zones that Clara found a system that worked. Here's how it works. Clara split her home into manageable areas: the kitchen, the living room, the bathroom, and so on. Each day, she focused on one zone. Mondays were for the kitchen, where she'd wipe down counters, clean out the fridge, and sweep the floor. Tuesdays were for the bathroom, and so on. The beauty of this system is its simplicity. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, Clara started each day with a clear plan. She found that focusing on one area allowed her to clean more thoroughly without exhausting herself. Plus, her house stayed consistently tidy because each zone received regular attention. One particularly busy week, Clara only managed to clean her designated zones for 10 minutes a day. Even on my worst days, the system keeps me on track, she says. Try it yourself. Divide your home into zones and assign each one a specific day. Start small, dedicating just 10 to 15 minutes daily, and watch how manageable your cleaning routine becomes. Fourth, set aside time for decluttering daily. Clara once stared at her closet, overwhelmed by the sheer amount of clothes spilling out. Some were gifts she never wore, while others were decades-old keepsakes. Where do I even begin? She thought. Then she stumbled upon a strategy that made all the difference. The 10-item toss. Here's how it works. Each day, Clara selects a small area, a drawer, a shelf, or a corner, and finds 10 items to either donate, recycle, or toss. One Saturday, she tackled her kitchen junk drawer. Out went dried-up pens, old receipts, and a mysterious key no one could identify. The process felt strangely satisfying. The beauty of this habit lies in its simplicity. By focusing on just 10 items a day, Clara gradually reclaimed her home without feeling overwhelmed. She even turned it into a game with her granddaughter, who helped her hunt for items to donate. Emotionally, this practice brought unexpected clarity. Letting go of things no longer needed gave Clara a sense of lightness and control. It's not about losing memories, she says. It's about making room for what matters most. Try it yourself. Start small with a single drawer or shelf. The 10-item toss is an easy, stress-free way to declutter and rediscover your space. 5. Focus on high-traffic areas. Clara's living room used to be a source of stress. It was the most used space in her home, where she read, entertained guests, and spent time with family. But its high-traffic nature also made it the quickest to get messy. One evening, Clara's friend Kate visited unexpectedly. As Clara nervously shuffled piles of magazines and stray cushions, Kate offered a nugget of wisdom. Focus on the spaces you use the most. Keep them tidy, and you'll always feel ahead of the mess. From that day on, Clara made her living room a priority. Each evening, she dedicated 10 minutes to tidying up. She'd fold blankets, straighten pillows, and make sure the coffee table was clear. Her favorite trick? Keeping a decorative basket by the couch for items like remotes, books, and small knickknacks. This small habit transformed how Clara felt about her space. Waking up to a neat and inviting living room gave her a sense of pride and calm. It also made her more comfortable with spontaneous visits from friends or family. If there's one area in your home that feels like a constant battle, follow Clara's lead. Spend a few minutes each day keeping high-traffic zones tidy. You'll feel the difference almost immediately. 6. Wipe it down. Right away. Clara remembers the day her kitchen counters became her nemesis. No matter how often she cleaned them, they seemed perpetually sticky, crumb-covered, or cluttered. Frustrated, she mentioned this to her neighbor, Susan, who said, "Why wait? Just wipe it down as soon as you see the mess." That advice stuck, literally. The next time Clara spilled coffee grounds while making her morning brew, she grabbed a microfiber cloth and cleaned it up immediately. It only took seconds, but prevented the mess from hardening into a bigger problem. She started applying this approach to other areas too, wiping down the bathroom sink after brushing her teeth, cleaning the dining table after meals, and even giving her stove a quick swipe after cooking. At first, Clara worried this would feel like she was constantly cleaning, but instead, the habit freed her from the stress of deep scrubbing sessions later. "A few seconds now saves me hours later," she beams. This habit also became a form of self-care. Clara enjoyed the satisfying act of keeping her home spotless, and it gave her a sense of accomplishment. She even added a small container of cleaning wipes to her apron pocket, making it easy to clean on the go. Give it a try. Keep a cloth or wipes handy, and make it a habit to wipe down surfaces immediately after use. It's a simple act with transformative results. 7. Use simple tools and products. Clara remembers a time when cleaning felt like a battle against an army of grime, and her arsenal of cleaning supplies wasn't helping. The cabinet under her sink was packed with sprays, scrubs, and gadgets she barely used. One day, after fumbling to find the right cleaner, she thought, there has to be a simpler way. That's when Clara started simplifying her tools. She ditched the clutter of products and kept only the essentials: an all-purpose cleaner, a microfiber cloth, and a handheld vacuum. Less is more, she jokes, especially when you don't have to wrestle with 20 bottles to clean a single counter. Her handheld vacuum became her favorite. Whether it was breadcrumbs on the table or dust along the baseboards, it made quick cleanups effortless. Clara also invested in an ergonomic mop that didn't strain her back, which made cleaning floors less of a chore and more of a breeze. The emotional benefits were immediate. Cleaning felt less overwhelming because her tools were easy to use and versatile. Clara often shares this tip with her friends, saying, "When cleaning feels simple, it's easier to keep going." If your cleaning routine feels chaotic, follow Clara's lead. Pare down to a few trusted tools that work for you, and you'll find that keeping a clean home becomes much more manageable and even enjoyable. 8. Create a schedule. That works for years, Clara avoided schedules. To her, they seemed rigid and unforgiving, the opposite of the flexibility she craved in her retirement. But after missing a family lunch because she got lost in cleaning, she knew something had to change. She started small, jotting down a loose plan for the week. Mondays became her laundry day, Tuesdays were for dusting, and Fridays were reserved for bigger tasks like vacuuming or cleaning out the fridge. At first, it felt strange, but as Clara stuck to her schedule, she noticed something remarkable. Her home stayed consistently tidy, and she had more free time. Clara also learned to adapt her schedule to her energy levels. On days she felt energized, she tackled more challenging tasks. On slower days, she'd focus on easy wins, like folding laundry while catching up on her favorite TV shows. The biggest change? Clara stopped feeling overwhelmed. With her schedule, she no longer had to guess what needed to be done or worry about missing something important. It's like giving yourself a roadmap, she explains. You always know where you're going. If cleaning feels like an endless to-do list, try creating a schedule tailored to your needs. Start with just 1 or 2 designated cleaning days and build from there. You might be surprised at how much easier life becomes. 9. Keep laundry manageable. Laundry day used to be Clara's least favorite. She dreaded the towering piles of clothes, the endless cycles, and the chore of folding everything afterward. The sheer scale of it left her feeling drained before she even began. One day, her daughter suggested a simple trick. Why not do one small load every day instead of saving it all for one day? Clara hesitated at first, thinking it wouldn't make much difference. But she gave it a try, and it changed everything. Now, Clara starts each day by tossing a small load into the washer. On Mondays, it's her towels. On Tuesdays, her sheets. And the rest of the week is for her clothes. By spreading out the work, she avoids the overwhelming laundry marathons that used to consume her time and energy. She even found ways to make laundry more enjoyable. Clara placed a chair near her folding station and put on her favorite music while she worked. She also kept separate hampers for whites, darks, and delicates, so sorting became a thing of the past. The emotional rewards were just as significant. Clara no longer felt stressed by the sight of laundry piles, and her home felt fresher without clothes lingering in hampers. It's amazing how something so simple can make such a big difference, she says. If laundry feels like a mountain you can't climb, consider breaking it into smaller hills. A single load a day can transform your routine and your peace of mind. 10. Get everyone involved. Clara used to feel like the weight of her home rested entirely on her shoulders. Whether it was vacuuming the living room after a visit from her grandchildren or doing the dishes after hosting family dinners, the endless cycle of cleaning left her exhausted. One day, while tidying up after a particularly chaotic afternoon, her daughter offered a simple suggestion. "Mom, why not let everyone pitch in?" The next time her family visited, Clara decided to test the waters. After dinner, instead of clearing the table alone, she asked her grandchildren to help bring the dishes to the sink. Her daughter loaded the dishwasher while Clara wiped down the counters. What used to feel like a solo chore turned into a team effort, and even a moment of connection. Clara realized that involving others wasn't just about lightening her workload. It was about creating a sense of shared responsibility. Her grandchildren even turned cleaning into a game, racing to see who could pick up toys the fastest. It's amazing how much faster everything gets done when we all work together, Clara says. If you often feel overwhelmed, try inviting family or friends to help. Even small contributions, like having someone take out the trash or fold a few towels, can make a big difference. Plus, it fosters a sense of togetherness, turning chores into shared moments of joy. 11th nightly resets. Clara used to end her evenings feeling frazzled, staring at the dishes in the sink and the clutter in the living room, wondering how it all piled up so quickly. That was until she learned about the concept of a nightly reset. Now, before heading to bed, Clara spends just 15 minutes putting her home back in order. She starts in the kitchen, loading the dishwasher, and wiping down the counters. Then she moves to the living room, folding blankets, fluffing pillows, and tidying up any stray items. Finally, she checks the entryway, ensuring her shoes and keys are in their designated spots. This small investment of time has transformed Clara's mornings. Waking up to a clean home feels like starting the day with a fresh slate, she says. It's become a ritual she looks forward to, accompanied by her favorite jazz playlist to keep the mood light. Clara encourages others to try it, emphasizing that it doesn't have to be perfect. Even if you only reset 1 or 2 spaces, it makes a huge difference, she says. A nightly reset isn't just about tidying up. It's about giving yourself the gift of calm to begin the next day. 12. Celebrate small victories. For years, Clara had a habit of focusing on what she didn't finish rather than what she accomplished. After a full day of cleaning, she'd still feel frustrated, noticing the dust on a high shelf or the laundry she hadn't folded. But then a friend shared a piece of wisdom that shifted her perspective. Celebrate the little things, Clara. Progress is progress. Clara decided to give it a try. Now, whenever she completes a task, whether it's organizing a drawer or vacuuming the living room, she takes a moment to acknowledge her effort. Sometimes, it's as simple as pausing to admire the neatness of her kitchen. Other times, she treats herself to a small reward, like a cup of tea with her favorite cookies or a bouquet of fresh flowers for the dining table. This new mindset has been a game changer. It's amazing how good it feels to celebrate what you've done instead of dwelling on what's left, Clara shares. By focusing on her victories, she's found new motivation to keep going. If you often feel discouraged, try celebrating your small wins. Treat yourself to something that brings you joy, or simply take a moment to appreciate your hard work. Cleaning isn't about perfection. It's about progress, and every step counts. 13th, seasonal deep cleaning. Clara used to dread the thought of deep cleaning. It seemed like an overwhelming task, something she could never tackle in one go. Then her friend Anne shared a secret. Break it up by seasons, Clara. Do a little bit each time the weather changes, and it'll feel like a fresh start. Inspired, Clara created a simple seasonal checklist. In spring, she washed windows and aired out her curtains to welcome the sunshine. In summer, she focused on decluttering her outdoor space, wiping down patio furniture and sweeping her porch. Fall was all about dusting ceiling fans and cleaning out the pantry to prepare for holiday cooking. And winter? That was her time to organize her closet and rotate seasonal clothes. By spreading these tasks throughout the year, Clara found that deep cleaning no longer felt like a mountain she couldn't climb. She even enlisted her grandchildren to help with smaller chores, like shaking out rugs or sorting through toys. The best part? Clara turned it into a family tradition, inviting her loved ones to help and sharing tea and cookies afterward as a reward. If deep cleaning feels intimidating, take Clara's approach. Divide it into seasons and focus on 1 or 2 areas at a time. It's a simple way to keep your home feeling fresh without the stress of tackling it all at once. 14. Welcome minimalism. For years, Clara held onto items she didn't use but couldn't bring herself to part with. Old vases, duplicate kitchen gadgets, and stacks of magazines filled her home, each tied to a memory or a just-in-case moment. But one day, after reading an article about minimalism, Clara began to see her belongings differently. She started small, tackling her kitchen drawers. Out went the extra utensils she never used, followed by the mismatched Tupperware lids. Next, she moved to her wardrobe, where she realized that some clothes hadn't seen the light of day in years. Why am I holding on to things that don't serve me anymore? Clara thought. As she decluttered, Clara discovered the joy of simplicity. Letting go of unused items created space, not just in her home, but in her mind. I didn't realize how much all that stuff was weighing me down, she says. Now, Clara keeps only the things that bring her happiness or serve a purpose. Her advice to others? Start with one small area and ask yourself, does this add value to my life? You might be surprised at how freeing it feels to let go of what no longer serves you. 15. Teach and inspire others. As Clara perfected her habits, she began noticing how much her friends admired her clean and organized home. One day, her neighbor Martha asked, "How do you do it, Clara? Your house always feels so welcoming." Clara smiled and decided to share her journey. She invited Martha over for tea and turned their chat into a casual workshop. Together, they tackled Martha's pantry, sorting through expired items and organizing the shelves. By the end of the afternoon, Martha felt inspired, and Clara felt proud of the difference she'd made. Clara also started sharing her tips with her grandchildren, teaching them the importance of small daily habits. From tidying their toys to helping with simple chores, Clara found joy in passing her knowledge to the next generation. It's not just about having a clean home, she says. It's about building habits that make life easier and more enjoyable. Clara encourages others to do the same. Whether it's helping a friend declutter or sharing a favorite cleaning tip, teaching others can create a ripple effect. The more we share, the more we all benefit, she says with a smile. If you've discovered a system that works for you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your loved ones and watch how your story inspires others to create homes they're proud of too. So, what's the secret to a home that practically sparkles? It's you. These habits aren't just cleaning hacks. They're your ticket to a calmer, happier life. Ready to show that clutter who's boss? Drop a comment below with your favorite tip, and let's keep this clean team momentum rolling. Blast off sparkles.